to day 76 of our live stream. And I've had a request today to talk about combiners. So we're going to go through that today, the pros and cons of each combiner, how I use them, what depicts whether I use them or not. We're also going to look at all the planes in the game, trying to work out which one's best for you, which one's best to level, and just going through that as well. In the meantime, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe, guys. We're just 18 subscribers short of that 1,500 target. Just 18 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything, nothing at all. All you got to do is have a YouTube account and just subscribe so that you get notifications on my videos. That is it. So let's see who we've got in the chat today. So obviously we've got Destroyer, who's always first in the stream. Welcome. We've got Grand Galvatron and Sharksy and Resident Mods. If you're not in Discord server as well, then come and join the Discord server. It's ever growing. Every day it's growing and growing and growing. More and more members, more and more information in there. We've got Grind Time, who's my fellow Cybertron Ops player. Welcome. We've got Blur as well. And Blur, just to put you straight, Blaster is better than No. We had a bit of a debate earlier. A brief debate, because I was right. We've also got Mitchell Shell. Hey, how's it going? We've got Bruticus. It was actually Bruticus that suggested that we talk about combiners. I thought we haven't talked about it in a long time, so I thought it's about time we did. Who else have we got? We've got Blue Grimlock, obviously, and Silverbolt as well. That's all the mods in there, and I think that is it. Anyone else? Oh, we got Blastwave as well. Welcome, Blastwave. Have we got you in a war? Are you in the new Grindbox 40 Alliance? I'm not sure if it's you or not. Maybe it could be. Kev Phillips as well. And Laserclaw. Welcome to everyone. Then, yeah, we should do them in no rush tonight, so to speak. If we've got time, then yes, we will. So, brief sort of update on what we've been doing in the game. So, we're, like I said, we're in a tough war at the minute. And we're all talking about one-shot planes, hard mode, new prime effects. Really, really, really hard at the minute. And I think that maybe the new hard mode coupled with the new prime effects, which I think are probably the hardest yet, is really hard to sort of take on. So we are doing our best, so to speak. But yeah, without one-shot jets, it's really hard. So one-shot jets are essential right now. And everyone's sort of speculating on which one's the best jet, which one-shots earlier, which are best because of AoE and because of build bots and everything else. And it's crazy, honestly, that there's so much talk about jets right now in the top chats that I thought it was really important that we cover that. Top Shot is not quite, well, I think he's finished, but we haven't been given the go-ahead. It's normally Wednesday when we give that go ahead by Space Ape. So I will be showing that most likely tomorrow. Just want to give a shout out as well to Ronald because I did miss him off. I seen his comment, but I didn't give him a shout out, so I do apologize, Ronald. So there you go. You got your own special mention. So yeah, this is a test account as well. Little disclaimer, I always do this on the test account that it's a test account. It's not linked to global. I'm not a hacker. I haven't hacked the game for millions of coins. It's not connected to global. You can't war in there pretty much. I can only war against other testers. That's it. We don't do events in there. It's not connected to global anyway. It's just there just to test bots, just to test things out, just to show new features to you guys. That is literally it. Okay, so we're going to combiners first. So I'm going to presume that everyone knows the sort of best combiners in the game. The best combiners, like I said, are Victorion and Defensor and Volcanicus. And that's it. That's pretty much it. I think Computron will be a real combiner when he comes out. And yeah, it's going to be interesting because a lot of ideas are coming to playtest chat as well. I've also put through a few ideas. I said that he should have some sort of hack ability. We've got no we've got a lot of things in the game. So you've got stun and you've got damage and you've got AoE and direct damage. So you've got all these in these combiners, but we've got no combiners that use the hack feature in the game. So I said, Computron, being who he is, he should definitely have some sort of hack ability in there. I really do think. Whether that's like Victorian on death and like Defensor, or whether it's an after effect, I don't know. But yeah, I really do think it should have some sort of hack effect. And whether that will whether we will test these bots or the combiner itself. We test the obviously individual bots, but whether we'll test the combiner or not, it's yet to be decided. I'm sure we'll balance it, but will we decide it? I doubt it, but I hope we take these things on board. We have had some new play testers come in as well. It's about, I think it's about 10 play testers have come in. So if you've asked to be a play tester, because I know a few people have that are in my Discord server and didn't get in, then don't worry, guys. There's always next time, but they do tend to pick seasoned players that have been around for quite a while. We've got like an introduction section, and looking through that, everyone's been playing the game for pretty much since release, and they're all not, I wouldn't say top level guys, but maybe top 100, I'd say, and all recognizable alliances. So yeah, it's good to have some fresh faces in there. Welcome to the new play testers, and yeah, look forward to working with them on the new bots. So we will start on Superion. So the first combiner, so Superion is Devastator. So when Superion first came out, he was a really good. Well, it was the first combiner, so no doubt everyone chased him because he's the only combiner available. And yeah, he was really good. He could one shot. He did a lot of AOE damage to weaken things, and yeah, he was pretty good. But what we found is, as time has gone on, as the game has progressed, he's not scaling. Now, when you say scaling, what it means is that he was good before, but as the HQ has increased by X amount of HP or X amount of damage, his abilities have not gone up in retrospect. So if the defenses go up by 10%, then leveling your Superion does not give you that sort of 10% extra. It's giving you like 7% or 6%. So he does weaker damage. I remember when Superion used to be able to one-shot pretty much anything in the game. And now a level 15 Superion only does 4,800 damage. That's only enough, really, to take out a beam of a launcher, unless you weaken it first with his rocket swarm. So it can be. He's not the best bot. It can be. I use Superion personally when my other combiners are not available, and that's a God's honest truth. He's not great. They have talked about giving him a buff. I hope they do. I think both him and Bruticus, Artemis Maximus, and Devastator, obviously, I think they all need a buff. I think they're all not relevant. But, you know, he's okay, but he's by no means decent. Like I said, level 15. He's got decent health, 49,000 health and 450 damage. So, yeah, he's not bad. But, yeah, I think he's a 4-star ability. There's a lot to be desired. And that sounds a lot, 72,000. But when you divide it by the amount of rockets, it works out about 500 each. And yeah, it's not great. Like I said, 500 damage to one target is not a lot when a lot of AoE damage does like 2,000 damage to a target. And then, yeah, his Russian Smash is okay. It's not too bad. It does sort of damage walls, but you don't use combiners as much damage walls. Not per se. If you want to damage walls and you haven't got a one-shot guy, a good tip is to have primer on a bot, hit that wall with primer, and then use someone like Sludge to weaken the wall. I do that with quite good effect. Put Skyburst down with primer, wait till she hits the wall, hit that same wall with sludge, and it does an extra 20% damage to that wall as well. So yeah. So the next one got Optimus Maximus. So he was second combiner that came out, and when he came out, everyone sort of agreed that he was not as good as Superior, and straight away it was obvious that Superior was the better combiner. So his first ability is okay. It's not too bad against walls. Like I said, just 915 damage, 700% to wall. So just about 5 or 6k damage to walls. So again, it's okay for weakening walls, but not a lot of people really use combiners for that anymore. And not a lot of people use walls in honeycombs for that reason. Walls are a lot more spaced out. People are wise to it. So his first ability is very average. His second ability, it's really confusing for me, and I really don't see the benefit of that. It says that he gets 30% movement speed, but all he seems to do is just bang on the wall and jump from defense to defense. But his attack is not the best anyway. So then he gets 30% damage reduction, but his health is pretty decent, but with the amount of damage that combiners take, they quickly. And you've noticed that what happens with combiners is at the very start they take very little damage, and as time goes on, the combined damage does more and more and more. They take more damage, so the health goes down a lot faster. So 30% damage reduction. So it's supposed to make him last a bit longer, but I don't see how it does. And then he has a close range splash radius. Well, I wouldn't call it a splash radius. It's not exactly far, and 50% damage for the next 10 seconds. Well, to be honest with you, once you've used them two abilities, it takes a long time for them to charge up. So in the next 10 seconds, you probably use one ability maybe, which is usually your 4-star ability. So the 4-star ability is what everyone puts in Outposts. This is what sort of brought Optimus Maximus back into the meta. And it stuns a lot of bots. So it fires 4 missiles that lock onto enemy defenses, disabling them. So you put him in a combiner outpost, then he will disable 4 bots for 20 seconds. That's pretty impressive. But now, since Red Alert has come into the meta, it's pretty much null and void. We talked the other day about Star Saber and Lita becoming less useful. It's simply because of Red Alert. Same with this ability. So, talking about putting him in an outpost, one good ability, if you're going to put him in an outpost, especially on a time trap, is the Righteous Rage. Because what happens is people will, on a time trap, people will try and walk around the walls, pop the combiner, and then use Prime to rush to that combiner. But what you find with Righteous Rage is that when he pops out, he will rush to the bots. So you don't have that time with Optimus to lock onto him and rush. And it can really, really, if people are relying on that and they haven't watched replays, it can really make people drop a few points. It's happened to me in the past where I've really struggled to then get to grips with the attack. I've even failed sometimes because of it, because of this ability and an outpost. So if you are using a time trap, consider putting Optimus Maximus in, but putting Righteous Rage in, because it's a better ability all around. It depends on your level. If people are using Red Alert a lot, which they are going to start doing even more now, I would maybe go away from the rockets. They're still useful, maybe. But again, if you pop the combiner and then they use the combiner, then the rockets are relevant anyway. So it's a quick sort of workaround. But he's probably the worst combiner in the game. It's between him and Superior, definitely. But I think because Optimus Maximus' first 2 abilities are definitely the worst in the game, but his 4-star ability is decent. So if you've got 3-star Optimus Maximus, don't spend too much spark on him. I wouldn't even bother really for an outpost. It's not that much of an advantage. Don't go and chase the 4-star bots at the minute. They're not really worth it. Ironhide, Prowl, Mirage, Sunstreaker, they're all quite poor 4-stars, really. So they're not great. Optimus Prime is obviously good, but the rest of them aren't that great. And the same with Superior. Silverball is brilliant. But other than that, Power Glide, Skydive, Firefly, Alpha Bravo, Air Raid, they're not great bots as 4-stars. So don't bother going chasing these bots. You won't get much use out of the bots. You won't get much use out of the combiners. So next we've got the next one to come to was Volcanicus. So Volcanicus at the time was immense because of the amount of AoE damage that he did. AoE was hugely in the meta, and yeah, it did a great amount of damage. And everyone had time traps. When everyone was doing backdoor attacks and things like that, and everyone used time traps. And because of his huge range, he was considered the best combiner out there, without a doubt, hands down, unbelievable. So his Energon sword does about 2,000 damage, and also does damage to any other structures that are behind it. Sort of hits in a line, and imagine it's sort of like Power Glide's ability. So wherever you aim it, it does damage just past it. So it's a really good ability, decent damage, and then you can set an area on fire doing 2,000 damage. So we spoke earlier about Superion's AoE damage doing 500 damage in an area, whereas Volcanicus will do 2,000 damage. It does take 8 seconds to do, but still, 2,000 damage compared to 500 is huge. So a lot better, again, a lot better than Superior. This is probably the first bot as well where all the abilities were really good. And then the extinction is absolutely amazing. So it does 2,600 damage and does 10,000 damage to walls. Not everyone remembers that. I mean, like I said, combiners really do a lot of damage to walls. They're not really used for that. But what we've started seeing a lot is people putting walls around the HQ along with HQ shield to really slow people down. So sometimes it's really good to hit the walls and hit any defenses close by with the extinction, and yeah, it's really effective and still a really good combiner. Decent health, decent damage, and a very good bot. And you also got to think that Grimlock is decent, Snarl is great, Swoop is good, Slug ain't too good, and Sludge is still good. If you're going to chase this combiner, you're still getting a lot of decent bots too, and that's the key to it as well. That the other two combiners, they don't have great bots, whereas there's some really good bots in there. So if you're going to chase the combiner, you're getting two uses out of it. You're getting good bots, and you're also getting a good combiner as well. And then next to the game, we had Victorion was the next one to come to the game. And this game was when we had a lot of time traps. And I've said in the past with abilities that percent abilities will always do better in the game, and they'll always sort of be part of the meta, so to speak. Because if you reflect 70%, 70% damage reflected of a HQ 12 is pretty much nothing. Whereas 70% damage of a HQ 17 is incredible. And I'm expecting if you've got the likes of Hotspot for HQ 18, now there's no plans obviously, but I'm just speculating that beam lasers with Cybertron charge will pretty much just kill themselves. So a bot like Hotspot, as the HQs increase with that sort of protection or that much reflection, these sort of bots will do really well in terms of the meta. So you've got Blade Dash, where she will just jump to a target. It's got a decent range on it. It's got okay damage, but it's more, to be honest with you, to get her in range. That's the main use. Then you have Kinetic Barrier, where she reflects 75% damage and does damage to nearby enemies. A very good ability if you use it near beam lasers on shock towers. Does a lot of damage to those likes. And then the main one is Noble Sacrifice, which is absolutely incredible. So what you tend to do is use your combine as much as you can, and then when she's about to die, just beforehand, use Noble Sacrifice. It deals 2,000 damage and deals over a large area. But like I said, use it at the end because you lose 20% of your health, and if it kills you, you disable the base for 10 seconds. So that is absolutely incredible. It's absolutely amazing. So, yeah, I wouldn't personally put her in an outpost. She's not great in an outpost. Same with Volcanicus. He's okay. They're not bad. But, yeah, personally, everyone seems to be going for Optimus Maximus or going for Defensor, who we'll look at in a minute. She's got good health, and don't forget, health is important because then the bigger health they've got, the more they stay alive. The more they stay alive, the more chances they've got to use their ability. You've also got to look at. Oops, there again. You've also got to look at the bots that are available in there. So we are going to talk about jets in a minute. Paramagna is not great. Dust Up not great. Jump Stream average. Rust Dust is pretty good. Skyburst is good. Storm Clash is good as well. So a mixed bag of bots there that you can sort of collect. But yeah, as a combiner, arguably the best in the game because all three abilities are really impressive and really good. Maybe not best for an outpost, but yeah, very good. And last of all, we've got Defensor. So Defensor is the latest combiner to the game. Really, really good combiner. Granted, this is level 17, but still, his health is ridiculous. And Space did that on purpose because with a name like Defensor, they thought that, he needs to be sort of stacky, so to speak, and have a lot of health. So his first ability is Blazing Fire, or as Mirage Jake calls it, Flaming Meatballs. And yeah, just 2,000 damage. And then if you run over that with the second ability, which is Electric Rush, so you do 1,743 damage to the final target. And then because you've hit him with the giant meatball, you also get extra damage, which is 2,000 damage. So crazy amount of damage. Really good that they combine together. I like that. Not any other combiners do that, where one will combine with the other. So that's really good. And the Force Shield, his 4-star ability, is absolutely unbelievable. Without a doubt, the best ability in the game for a combiner. So it generates a Force Shield, reflecting 90% damage. So as we said, as the HQs go up, that 90% damage will be more and more and more. Granted, the 10% is more, but 10% is not much, let's be honest. So reflecting 90% damage. Then after 6 seconds, the shield explodes, causing 1,600 damage as well in the area where he stood. So you reflected all the damage back from. So put him in a kill box, send him right into that kill box and first 2 abilities. So you'll do 2,000 damage in that area. You'll do 3,700 damage in the same area. And then you'll do 1,600 damage in the area. So it pretty much kills anything in that region. And then reflects all that damage back. So it does damage to long-range targets, short-range targets. And then on top of that, it gives all your bots a shield for 50% damage for 10 seconds. So you're getting sort of 3 uses out of it. Not only are you killing, or not killing, but weakening long-range defenses, weakening short-range defenses, but you're also giving your bots a shield as well. So I use Defensor a lot, and I use them all differently. Like I said, Superion, Octus Maximus, I tend to use them when I run out of ore. As an emergency, that's it. Volcanicus, I will use if I need a long range. He has the best range in the game. Outside of that, it's only his 4-star ability. If you've only got a 3-star, then it's quite difficult to use him in that sense. But good for sort of cleaning up after Saber and things like that. Victorion, I will use if I'm in a area where there's a lot of defenses, because you can clear them out quite quickly and do a lot of damage and then stun them with Victorion. With the new current bases where they're all spread out, because Defensor reflects all the damage back, even from whatever area, I send Defensor right into the center of the base, let him reflect all that damage back, and then my bots have got a shield then for 10 seconds, and they can walk through the base and they can attack with a combiner, maybe under with a healer or under Trax Cloud. It sometimes even saves using Trax and saves your ability points for later. So really good. Putting him in an outpost as well. When he dies, he does the same. He gives all your defenses a 50% damage reduction for 10 seconds. And that's huge. Whenever I kill Abominus or Defensor, I will not use any abilities for them 10 seconds. So for 10 seconds, use Trax, use whatever you can, keep your bots alive, because there's no point in using abilities because you're getting half the ability usage out of it. So it's really big that you got to be really careful and really plan that into your attacks. So yeah, personally, I would rate Defensor as the best combiner. I love him. I think he's brilliant. Then Victorion, then Volcanicus, then Superion, and then Otus Maximus last. Some people will maybe switch Superior and Otus Maximus around, but that's the general consensus of combiners. So, has anyone got any questions on combiners while I'm checking the chat? Is there anything I haven't covered? Anything you want to know? Let's have a look through the chat. I've been waffling on for quite a while. So let's have a look. I've missed a lot. Can we open 900 crystal sharks? No, we can't. Definitely not. Mitchell, you are welcome. You are welcome for the advice. Laser Claw, I think it is harder than sharks. I thought sharks were really hard, but I think this one's really harder. It's the first time we've had 3 effects, I think. Most prime leagues have had 2. It's the first one with 3. Someone suggested in the VIP chat for a timer on abilities. What do you mean by that, Kev? I'm not sure that means. But I did suggest in the playtest chat that they should bring out some new abilities and some really strong abilities, but have a timer on them, like the combiners, where it takes a while to charge up. So you could have it where it's 5 ability points, but because to stop you from spamming it, you could have a timer on it. My idea. No lives matter. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Anything else? Yeah, no one knows what you need to be to be VIP Sharks. Honestly, no one knows. I ain't got a clue. Sorry you didn't get selected, Ronald. Yeah, few top guys in the game, few mid-range players. Yeah, most of them I knew before, some I didn't. Grind tester needs to be able to target HQ. Yeah, with his death beam superior. And yeah, I agree, really, but I think the SpaceX don't like bots targeting the HQ. They've got a big thing against it, and I sort of understand it to a degree. But yeah. Last Wave likes Devastator. Devastator is Superior. Let's have a look. Anything else in the chat? Yeah, Kev Phillips. Well, I don't think Defensor has a weakness. He's got good range, good damage, a good shield, a good after ability after he dies, good health on himself. So maybe his damage is a bit low, but let's be honest, you don't really use his damage other than abilities. You tend to spam the abilities one after another, so we don't get a chance to really use the abilities, his normal DPS, so to speak. But yeah. I think we're catching up around now. Thanks for posting Discord in the chat, Sharks here. Hey, Laser Optimus. Welcome to the stream. Kev Phillips, how long the ability has left? I don't know what you mean by that, Kev. I don't know what you mean. I can't get you mean, but I just think that you just sort of judge it yourself, really. You can see the bar. You mean on combiners, I presume. You just see the bar going round, so obviously you can see when it's sort of due. Is the upcoming bot a combiner? You will find out tomorrow. In the we obviously get the newsletter a day early. And yes, we have been told what the new bot is. I'm not seeing anything about them yet, but we have been told. But you will find out in tomorrow's newsletter about the new bot coming for the leaderboard. Yes, interesting. That's all I will say. It's interesting. Yeah, it does, Mike. Yeah, the electric rush does take a while to recharge. Some do more than others, but I think that's just part of balance. But I'll be honest, once you've used the giant meteor meatball, and then you've used the electric rush, and then you've used the shield, I normally maybe use one more giant meatball, so to speak, and then that's it. Yeah, that's all I have chance for. Combiners die very quick now with with all the damage and all the new HQs. So yeah, I'm expecting Computron and to have decent health and yeah, maybe a hack ability, like I said. So yeah. Okay, that's pretty much like I said. Combiners covered. So jets. So who do you think is the best jet in the game? Who do you guys think? Put it in chat now, and we're gonna sort of prove this theory once and for all. Put it to sleep. So there's no arguments because I've heard people say, "Oh well, Jetfire is the best in the game." Well, Sky Striker is best in the game because he's invisible. Yeah, but this guy does AOE damage. Well, yeah, everyone has an opinion, but yeah, who would you think is the best jet in the game? Not best flyer, so not tracks, not swoop, jet, purely jets. Who do you think is the best jet? Oh, well, you could have Storm Clash. I know she's a helicopter, but yeah, you can include that. So mine says Thundercracker. Yeah, there's no wrong answer, guys. There's no wrong answer, but obviously your opinion depends on who you think. Viper. Is that Viper? Is that the same as Powerglide? Windblade. Well, Windblade's not a flyer, so to speak, not a jet. She's more of a special bot. She doesn't act like a jet because don't forget, a jet will take off, do damage, and then land back where it took off from. Whereas Windblade will jump and land, so she's not a jet, so to speak. Cybertron, Starscream, or Night Raven. So it depends what you want the bot for. It depends what you need a jet for. But let's be honest, right now you need one-shot bots. So Silverball or Thundercracker were king come a month ago. But all of a sudden they've really fell wayward. Unless you've got like a level 63 5-star Silverball, if you've got a missile launcher or beam laser and they've got a build bot next to them, you're not taking that down. Because his damage does over 20 seconds, you'll find that the build bot heals faster than what, or for a good proportion of what Silverball or Thundercracker do. So they've really gone wayward, and people that relied on them and are now having to try and find a second jet, so to speak. And yeah, Lucky Me said 5-star Firefly. But let's cut 5 stars out of it. It's a bit unfair to include a 5-star Jetfire in the comparison because of a 5-star. So you can't compare 5 stars. So let's just stick to 4 stars. But yeah, Viper and Powerglide are awful. Definitely not the best jets in the game. By far, one of the worst. Definitely not. And Blue Grimlock said, just watched my Sky Striker video last night. So, obviously, what normally happens is someone will say something in the chat, and you take it as gospel, so to speak, and you take it as the truth. And then sometimes you look at the stats and go, well, that doesn't quite seem right. So, for a long time, Jetfire Sky Striker is the best jet in the game, does crazy amount of damage, and Space Ape have said they will never release him as a 5-star. So I was like, oh wow, he's amazing. Must be amazing. So looking at his stats, let's find him. So the problem here is that what people are doing is they're saying that he 4 damages, 4 powerful rockets, dealing 2,800, and then missiles doing 234. So what they're doing is that they're putting the 60 missiles at 234 damage, which is about 3,000 odd damage, something like that. Adding that to the 2,800 and going, wow, he does 5,800 damage to a target. That's crazy. He doesn't do that to a target. What he tends to do is he does around 4,600. Someone said to me that it does around double, and that's pretty much accurate. It's a very accurate sort of figure. He does pretty much double the target. double the damage that's stated there. So if your Sky Striker says 3,000 damage, it'll do 6,000 roughly. If it says 2,000, it'll do 4,000. Think of it like Ultra Magnus or Sunstreaker. You can't rely on their abilities because they vary slightly on damage. So you've got to make sure it goes way above what you'd expect. So I think there's a bit more than that. So it might do 5.7 or 5.8. Sometimes just 5.6 because you can't control where the missiles land. So generally double that target. So 5,600 damage, maxed enhanced ordnance at level 6110. So 5,000 damage. Cybertron Jetfire, the same level. So let's take away raids. Does 6,100 damage. So that's a crazy amount of damage. But what you've got to remember is that is to one single target. It doesn't do any AoE, doesn't do any splash damage. Whereas Jetfire Sky Striker, yeah, you can't get that damage to one target, but it does damage around that. So it does help. But let's be honest, if you're going to use a jet, you need it to one shot. Now, the fact that Jetfire Sky Striker goes invisible is huge. It really is, because if they do buff air cores to sort of combat jets, which I think they may do eventually, maybe it might be a Prime League effect in some way. I don't know, but I really think they will. And all jets are going to suffer apart from Jetfire Sky Striker. So if you want a bot that's going to last no matter the meta, then Jetfire Sky Striker is a really good choice. But if you're looking for a bot that's going to one-shot earliest, then you're looking at Cybertron Jetfire. You can actually one-shot a lot lower level, maybe 2 levels lower than everyone else. So yeah, so a good one-shot bot. Next we have Stormclash. So Stormclash, so there again, does 5,600 damage. So similar to Sky Striker, but then does an extra damage 800 as well. So Stormclash is very similar to Jetfire Sky Striker, but the difference again is that Sky Striker goes invisible. That's why it's got an advantage over Stormclash. The extra 800 over 5 seconds is pretty quick over 5 seconds. I don't see why they've done that. Space it to fair. 800 over 5 seconds. 5 seconds is pretty quick. Really, if you're going to do an AoE damage like that, you want it to burn over time so you can, so that you have a way to defend against it with build bots and healing and things like that. So I don't see why I've done 5 seconds, but it does more damage though. It generally does more damage than Sky Striker. Same again, 6110 with a max enhanced ordnance. Then we've got Jetfire, who does 5,800 damage. So he does slightly more damage at 6110. So out of Jetfire, Sky Striker, and Stormclash, Jetfire actually does more damage. So, and Jetfire's been out quite a while. So a lot of people have jets that have been, they've been leveled them in the past. A lot of people have been in the game since the start, especially will have a decent Jetfire. So rather than leveling a bot like, say, Cybertron Jetfire from level 0 all the way up, you're probably more beneficial to level Jetfire up maybe 3 or 4 levels and getting a bot straight from 0, because Sky Striker will help with the meta, like I said, because it goes invisible. That's the only advantage he gets. But in terms of damage, it's actually one of the lowest. Firefly is quite a bit behind Jetfire. I haven't even put him in for comparison because everyone knows that Firefly does quite a bit less than Jetfire. So yeah, if you're looking to upgrade a bot, a jet, then Jetfire is a really good option. If you had all of them at level 0, personally, I would choose either Cybertron Jetfire, which is the most damage. Well, if you need a bot quickly to one shot, Cybertron Jetfire does it at the lowest level, the least XP needed, less time needed. If you want a bot to last the longest, I would choose Sky Striker, because if it goes invisible, it won't make a bit of difference what they do to air cores. But if you're talking about leveling a bot to get to a one shot and a bot that you most likely already get and is leveled, then you're looking at maybe Jetfire. Because Jetfire, like I said, most people got a decent Jetfire. maybe around 50-ish in the top levels of the game that have been there since the start. Everyone will pretty much have a decent Jetfire. And yeah, only needs a few levels. So yeah, he can be a really good bot. And don't trust the stats. Let's have a bit of a test play. I have set it up here. So we've got 4 cannons. So there's a bit of bug on the test at the minute. I've put no power cores on, but last time when I loaded them up, they were all showing defense cores. So we'll put defense cores on. See if we can do it. So we've got level 12. We'll try that first. We've got one there. So yep, level 12. Put another level 12 on there. So generally, you're going to use jets to shoot missile launchers and beam lasers. But don't forget, you have got hard mode to take into consideration. So you do need that sort of extra damage. I think 6,000 damage. You won't need a jet to do level 61. But it's just to emphasize, we've got 6,700 damage. And then the last one, let's take it off the laser turret. Put it on there. And there we go. So 6,740 damage for all 4 cannons. I've also put a harvester behind them just to show any AoE damage that may be done to them as well. Okay, test my base. There we go. We've got the 4 jets that they compared. All ready? So they've all got enhanced ordnance, all 6110, all the same level. They haven't got anything else on them, any combos or anything will make a blind bit of difference. But one thing you've all noticed though is that Cybertron Jetfire's normal basic attack is a bit longer than the rest of the jets, so it does help him a lot. So it is good to remember he will sit back a bit, but he will also path differently. It sort of gives him the sort of range of fire drive, so not quite a gunner, but a bit in between. Jetfire has got flak, sorry. I apologize. That's because someone asked if they had gunner range, Cybertron Jetfire. But it's good to sort of see they don't. So we're going to do Stormclash at the top, Jetfire, Jetfire Sky Striker, and Jetfire. So Stormclash on there, Cybertron Jetfire on there, Sky Striker on there, normal Jetfire there. So we can see what damage they do. So Stormclash first, Cybertron Jetfire next, Sky Striker there, Jetfire there. And you can see there that all jets have left a bit of a sliver of health. But you can see there that Stormclash has done the most damage. You can see there, Cybertron Jetfire done quite a bit of damage. And all very similar. Jetfire probably the least amount of damage there, but you can see there behind that Sky Striker's done a slight bit of damage to the harvester behind them, but it's not considerable. It's only a slight bit of damage. But Stormclash definitely done the most damage. But all a sliver of health, nothing crazy in terms of difference. So yeah, all very similar. You can see there as well that Cybertron Jetfire is shooting from range. So it's a good 2 or 3 squares behind the rest of them. So yeah, you can see there that there's flak. And Cybertron Jetfire, it looks like it's got a similar there, but he hasn't. He's got a bit less. Slightly less than flak. So yeah, so there you go. So all very similar at 6110. Like I said, Cybertron Jetfire has a bit of range on his basic attack, and Sky Striker does a bit of AoE damage, nothing too crazy, but I've done some attacks there, and you'll see. If I want to go again, and I'll show you, because Sky Striker's actually done more damage than that in sometimes when I've attacked. But the problem is that you can't guarantee it. Every time it's slightly different. So, it's quite concerning when you can't rely on damage. You can rely on damage to a single target, but, looking at the stated damage, it's crazy when you think that, Jetfire Sky Striker, people think it does like 6,500 damage, but he doesn't. He honestly doesn't. Let's try again then. So we're going to try and press it at the back. Stormclash can do damage to the target behind it. Same with a Sky Striker. We'll put it towards the back of the defense, so to speak. And Jetfire. And you can see there that Stormclash again has left a slither of health. And you can see there that Sky Striker has actually left the most health this time, but done more damage to the Harvester, because not all the rockets this time has hit it. So I don't know. Maybe you might get more damage out of it. You might be able to take it down if you aim correctly, but it's just inconsistent. Now, for the sake of testing, I'm going to do one more go. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to put Sky Striker's ability at the front of the defense. It's only a slight difference, but see if the rockets will hit all that target and maybe take it out. Because it's very inconsistent. One more test. So the first one we just did directly on the defense. I pressed slightly to the back to do more damage to the structures behind the harvesters. So we put it at the front of the defense. Maybe Jetfire Sky Striker will do more damage to that one target. We will see. We'll do the same with Stormclash. We'll do the same with all of them. So Stormclash right at the front of the defense. Right at the front. Right at the front. Right at the front. And no, sadly, Jetfire Sky Striker has definitely left the most health, followed by Jetfire, then followed by Cybertron Jetfire, and Stormclash has actually done the most damage every single time. So yeah, it is official. Stormclash does the most damage out of all the 4-star jets, followed by Cybertron Jetfire, followed by Jetfire, and Sky Striker's actually last. So yeah. Don't forget, like I said, that there is benefits to each of them. They have to do the little sort of tweaks here and there, and Jetfire Sky Striker does a bit of AoE damage. But like I said, the main priority of jets is one hitting, one shotting. So if you've got a decent Stormclash, you've got a decent Cybertron Jetfire. The other ones, like I said, they're still decent, but if you've got a choice from 0 on which one to level, that will give you a really good idea on which one to level. So, Ronald, we've got time, so we'll have a look at the Shanix. We'll quick review of it, so to speak, and suggest some of the changes that I've suggested to the apes. So, wrong place. So, the Shanix store, I think it's really it really needs an influx of something in there. The apes said before HQ17 it get an upgrade, and I'll let into a little secret. I'm not sure if I should say this or not. It's a big exclusive. We were talking in the playtest chat today, and we were told that some big things are coming to the game this month. I don't know what that is. I have not got a clue, but they've said that some big things are coming. It can only make you think maybe Shanix store upgrade. It could be ability 11. Who knows? It could be. I don't know. It will be the new combiner. If it's not out yet, we don't know. It could be anything, but they said that something is coming soon, guys. So I'm really looking forward to that. If I was you, whenever I hear big news, I start hoarding crystals. I start hoarding spark. I start hoarding things just in case, because we don't know what it is. But yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. and hopefully it's either a Shannick store upgrade or it's ability 11. I think it's more than likely. I'm just going out on a limb here and saying maybe the Shannick store upgrade because Hyro said in the stream that he did want a Shannick store upgrade, and usually when they mention things in stream, it usually means it's coming soon. And he would like to see the Shannick store upgraded with some new stuff pretty soon. So hopefully it's that. So is XP boosts. I will buy at least one every single Super XP. Every single one. If I'm leveling a bot, it gets an XP core. Standard. It's half the cost, especially if you're power leveling. If you're not power leveling, they're a waste of time. Don't bother. Things like Or13 and Combiner Spark are decent. They help you level your combiners, especially Or13 if you're running low. For only 500 Shannicks, it isn't too bad, especially for 50. You can get 5 combiner uses out of it, so really decent. I have never bought a silver XP core. I have never bought a bronze XP core. Never. I haven't even touched them. I don't see the point in them being there, to be honest with you. Personally, I hope they bring in a G Metal XP core for maybe 2,000 Shannicks. I think that'd be really good. But yeah, that's yet to be seen. That's something that I suggested. Maybe it's 2,500 Shannicks. Whatever it is, the cost is down to them. But I think a G Metal XP core would be really cool. Squad core chips, they actually have a decent drop rate. I've actually got maybe 3 or 4 G Metal squad cores. Not squad cores, sorry, no. 3 or 4 gold squad cores. And I rarely buy them. So yeah, a lot of my friends have got the G Metal ones. That's what I meant to say, sorry. So yeah, the squad cores are actually pretty decent for what they are. I bought 3 at the start and got nothing. Kicked up a fuss, said these are ridiculous. I just bought 3 squad cores for 1,500 Shannicks, and I've got nada. I've got nothing for it. They're a joke. Thinking that was it. A friend went in, pulled a G Metal. They're actually all right, these, and I was pretty annoyed. So I went in, got one more, and pulled a gold. And it's very rare that I use them, but they do drop golds quite often, so they are okay. They're not too bad. So the 5-star monkey as well is a really good bot to get. But for me, you've got a choice. You've got a choice between getting 5-star primal or XP cores and leveling all your other bots. Personally, I would rather have a team of good bots than just one bot, one extra 5-star. That's just my opinion. It's up to you. Some people will never get a 5-star pretty much unless they save the Shannicks. I understand that, and I'm all for that. Fair nutties. And it's good bot. It's a good 5-star to have as well. But for me, XP is just more important. So Optimus Primal, yeah, is a decent reward. Or13, maybe. Combiner Spark, maybe. XP cores are brilliant. Kev Phillips said 2,000 is too much. I'm just guessing it might be 1,500. Who knows? But a G Metal one will have a ridiculous amount of XP. So you got to think that if you're using a gold XP core, it's at least 1,500 at least, because the increments it goes up. But yeah, I'd love a G Metal XP core. A 5-star combat bot in the Shannick store to replace Primal. Not too bad. That's a good idea. Well, when I went to Space Ape I spoke about it a few days ago. When I went to Space Ape last year, I did say that I would put a new 5-star in there as a legacy, so to speak, like the other ones. But some people suggested that you get 5-star Primal, but the next one they bring in, whoever it may be, you can't unlock until you've got Primal. So you don't have a choice like Legacy. You have to get Primal. Once you got Primal, then the next one unlocks. Then when you've done that one, then the next one unlocks. And they can keep doing that, but you've got to get each one in order. So that's another option that they've sort of put forward. But my understanding is that when they made the Shannick store and brought it out, whoever it was that decided it, they were dead against putting Primal in there. Because when I spoke to Yanis about it, he said that they would. He just said they said they were dead against putting a 5-star in the Shannick store for free. Dead against it. So he had to really fight for it, and they finally got it in there. And I just think that if he's had to fight to get it in there, and there was a lot of, not arguments, but a lot of, disagreement on whether they should, it's going to be hard to get an extra one in there. So I'm not too sure we may ever see another 5-star in there. I hope we do at some point. I will never get it. I will never save for it. I will always buy XP cores. But yeah, I think it'd be good for other people to get, especially those that will never see a 5-star bot. It's something free to play they can sort of save up for. Anything else in the chat? That's a good point, though, Mike. Yeah, his cost, obviously, in terms of jets, cost means a lot as well. So yeah, like I said, it depends on your style and what you think is the most viable, or it depends what you want. Like I said, if you need more damage, then sometimes having a bit more ability points is needed. Like I said, because 5-star prowl will one shot pretty much anything at one point. Does more damage than most jets, 4-star prowl even. But yeah, it's extra 2 ability points. So yeah, it all depends on what you want. Like I said, the more damage, generally, more ability points that you spend. So yes, Blur, save your Shanix. I've saved my Shanix as well, just in preparation. I think I've got about 4,000. I think 3,000. I think I've got. I'll get an extra 2,000 in the event this week at 5,000. I'm gonna. I might use one this week just to get Jetfire up to 1 shot. I might do that tomorrow. This weekend, sorry. With 1 XP core, and then that is me until leaderboard. No more XP cores. Anything else? Bronze XP core should be removed. I agree. I really agree. You got Sharks got a gold squad core once, but got 2 G metals on his ult. Obviously. Yeah, Hero, I'd love a G metal XP core. Definitely, without a doubt. Grand Galvatron. See, that's what I mean. 5-star Megs or XP core throws XP core away. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's sort of different. Everyone thinks that, if everyone thought the same, it'd be a bit of a boring game. But I like the fact it's there. G Metal core probably for 150% XP. Yeah, I reckon so. Yeah, I reckon the G Metal core probably 150% XP. That'd be crazy if that's the case. Anything else in the chat? I think that's it. Grand Galvatron's got 48,000. Wow. So Grand Galvatron, that means this weekend you will get Beast Wars Megs 5-star. Nice. Impressive. Skank couldn't regret saving up for Primal. Have you got Primal yet? Because it's a decent bot. It really is. And Grand Galvatron will have 3 5-stars free to play. And just a quick one as well. I did say that the current bundles are the best ones you're going to get. I bought one today and got a 4-star Saber dupe. So after me saying yesterday, I think it was, that I never get 4-star dupes, I got one with another guided missile core. So as well, I finally got that 3rd guided missile core when I don't actually need it right now because of the new Prime League effects. Guided missiles are not as good. So yeah, go figure. Sort of bittersweet, so to speak. But yeah, another dupe, which puts me at 11,000 shards. So that's about 11,500 with the shards we'll get from the 5-star polls. So after this weekend's event, I think I will have 12,000 5-star shards. So pretty much a third of the way towards that 3rd 5-star. So we're getting there slowly, and hopefully we can get to 15,000 shards come maybe August when the next 5-star patch is out. So I have said as well that this week we'll be doing a 5-star prediction video that will be coming this week. So look out for that. And yeah, I've been talking to my alliance what they think as well, and put a few ideas in my head. So yeah, that will be happening this week as well. Combat bots probably tomorrow. We should be able to show them. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping I like to show them before the stream, which is obviously Wednesday. I will let you guys know, obviously. Well, you'll know if we're on test server tomorrow. Then yeah, we'll be doing Top Shot. So yeah, and hopefully it's this big Shannick store upgrade. Hopefully, don't say I said it would. I'm just guessing. Like I said, not guaranteed, but hopefully that is the big update. What they are promising this month. All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate everyone for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We're just 18 short, 18 subscribers short of that 1500 target that I set myself for the year. In January, I set myself a 1500 target by December, and we're already only half through the year, and we're already close to it. Just 18 more subs. So yeah, if you're not subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. If you're not in that Discord server, right on cue. Cheers, Blue Grimlock. Make sure that you're in that Discord server. 350 members almost, forever growing. I think we'll get to 500 members pretty quickly. And yeah, it's a really good source of information. There's some really good guys in there. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. See you tomorrow, and peace out.